adding value on a deeper level, not so much surface level. You and I both don't like surface level. We like to dig deep, but something that will compel them to take action and increase connection with you and your brand. Welcome back for another weekly episode. I'm Toni Singh.
And I'm Jenny Woon.
And we have a super fun topic today that Jenny came up with. Today's topic is 5 tips on converting comments into customers. Tell us a bit more about that. I think it makes sense to me, but you mean on social media platforms?
Yes, comments on social media platforms. But before we get into that,
okay,
I want to play a fun game, courtesy of my sister, Cassie Woon, who introduced me to this little game. Because she likes her underrated, overrated games.
Yeah, those are fun.
But this one is kind of the same thing, I guess. It's this or that.
Okay.
Okay, so you got to pick one. What would be your preference between the two examples I give you?
Okay. Ready? Yeah.
Okay. Bath or showers?
That. Did I do it wrong? I'm like, I don't actually get how to play
so showers. Okay.
Okay, wait though. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Which one's that? Well, which one would you pick? This or that?
So I could just say bath
this
or
game
showers.
Is a fail.
But this is what I'm saying. I'm like, that actually doesn't make sense. Okay, go ahead.
One or the other, bath or showers.
Okay, do it again because that didn't work because I'd choose a bath, obviously.
I feel like, no, we're going to leave this in, but do you choose bath or showers?
I say bath because I never get to take them. I'm like,
but why did you say showers?
Because I didn't understand the this or that. I'm like, which one goes with this and that?
Okay, gotcha. Okay, which one would you pick between the two?
Okay.
Aisle or window seat?
Aisle. I have to pee a lot, so.
Oh, okay. In-home theater or in-home gym?
In-home gym.
Pool or hot tub?
Hot tub.
Okay. And greenhouse or infrared sauna?
Oh, I want both.
Threw you off there.
I'm normally very decisive. Infrared sauna.
Good pick.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was a fun game. Are you?
Thanks, Cassie.
Yeah. Thanks, Cassie. Shout out to Cassie.
Back to serious business here, which is also fun. Don't worry, we'll make it fun for you guys. Capturing the attention of your audience in a space that's completely polluted with a lot of content by the millisecond can be challenging. So obviously, we're posting a lot, but we are always asking ourselves, what's good content?
Yeah.
What for you, what would make good content when you're going through your feed?
I mean, I think it's all relative. So I think sometimes good content can be where somebody's at a given time, right? So if I'm an investor, for example, in real estate, maybe if there was an investment video, that would speak to me. But perhaps I'm a first-time home buyer, that content's going to speak to me as well. So you're absolutely right. I think that there's challenges in picking content for the consumer, right? Because it's kind of like they might not be going through the exact same thing that I'm going through at the moment, where I'd want a little bit of extra help or tips. How do you guys, so I noticed something. Your social media recently, the videos of the introductions of the teams.
Yes.
I absolutely loved it. And I've actually been taking a little break from social media, so I didn't see it right away. And then I saw it and I thought it was so amazing.
You're referring to us at the Amazing Brentwood.
Yes.
With all the colors.
It was spectacular. But so to answer your question fully, I think it's kind of dependent on what resonates with any person at a given time. But the reason why I really liked the post that you guys did on West One is because it was a bit more personable. I felt like, I mean, your team's amazing. I know that. but maybe other people that are following you on social media, maybe they didn't know that before and they were able to see that through the posts. So good job. I really liked it.
Thank you. And this is just the start of it. We have a campaign going, lots of pictures that we have not shared yet, and an upcoming video that's going to be happening sometime this fall. So
fun.
you're actually going to see a lot more of our personality.
Yeah.
Because, we miss people, and there's lots of people who follow us that are new and don't really know who we really are yet. So we can't really, we can't wait.
Well, I guess this also answers the question that you posed to me. What is interesting? I'm going to be totally 100% honest.
Okay.
I want to know who the fuck you are. If I'm going to deal with you, no, seriously, there's a book called that too. But show me who you are. Show me who you are as a person, where your values are, and if I'm aligned with that, I'll work with you.
So yeah, this is the question where what type of content are you willing to share that will really compel people to resonate and to connect with you? And so that's really important. One of this conversation really resonates is because Jess Levenall, which we've repeatedly talked about her in our various podcasts, and we had her on as a guest, where relevancy and omnipresence is really, really important. And so being consistent in that and showing up to being vulnerable, to open up to who you really are so that people can connect with you.
That's right. And I think, who was it? I can't remember the name right now. It was one of our guests from today. They had said something as well, that there was a while, I think it might have been Marianne Gillespie, there was a while where, she felt not censored. She didn't use those words, but she felt maybe that she couldn't say certain things.
Yeah,
and
Marianne.
Yes, it was Marianne. And when you get over that, because even for myself, I always thought that I was a very outspoken person. I was as a child, but I've gone through phases too. It's like sometimes you don't want to be as outspoken, or you're not really voicing your true voice. And I think that if you're really speaking your truth out there and it's it'll come through and it resonates with people, and you will 100% get more business of aligned customers that you want to work with.
So before we get into the 5 tips, one thing that you really should get going on is just posting. A lot of us really get nervous about, and our insecurities come out about ourselves when we're on camera or when we're on video. And what that problem means is that you're just too focused on how you look or sound, and you're not really focused on trying to provide a service or add value to your listeners or viewers. If you took the attention off of you, doesn't matter if you fumbled your message, you forgot a sentence, maybe you forgot what the pitch was. It's not going to be perfect, but your heart is centered by focusing on the customer and the service that they need. Then it's going to be much easier to produce content on a consistent basis.
Yeah, you don't even need to think about it.
So let's start off with the 5 tips. And you want to go first?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so tip number 1, go to your post and turn on or off your commenting.
Yeah. So every time there's a post, you can go onto the 3 dots that are on your top right corner, and you can opt to turn off your commenting. And so this topic today is converting comments into customers. And what you want to do is turn that comment on so that people can make remarks or give you feedback on that post.
Yes.
So setting up your profile so that there are sharing options and allowing people to be able to kind of give their opinion and feedback is part of engaging with your audience.
For sure.
But in stories is also really important. It's just not just posts.
So have you guys noticed that when you're posting, I mean, I guess I imagine why you said that is because the stories sometimes seem to get a lot more traction than the permanent posts sometimes. Because even for me, I'm not always actually scrolling. If I'm on Instagram, for example, I'm not always looking at the permanent posts. I'm actually more looking at the stories sometimes, I find. Have you been noticing that too when you're sharing it to story? Because we have also noticed that.
I'm not looking at the stats. I would say that would be more for Miranda to kind of detail those type of things out for me. For myself, I'm of a more of a post person. Like when I'm on the feed, I'm more of a post. I don't really look at stories too much, because I like to kind of read the captions and
Fair enough.
really understand the intent behind why they've posted that, if there's a bigger caption than or a story. But yeah, I would, I maybe on your end, you notice more people looking at your stories than looking at your post.
We'll get to this later, but for conversion, we get more conversion through the stories too. So we'll talk about that later.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So make sure you leverage these apps to be able to connect and find this common ground with your audience. Number 2, always provide value in your content. Put out content that there are 3 E's that we should focus on.
I think I only know 2.
So entertaining,
Yeah. Educational,
absolutely, and
emotional.
emotional/encouraging.
Okay.
So your content should contain at least 1, if not 2 of these 3 E's. And so let's break it down to what these 3 E's embody, what the qualities are.
Okay.
First is
Entertainment. So knowing your audience, and we know that entertainment value is extremely subjective. So you don't necessarily, it doesn't have to be a quality production. I think the most important thing is getting the message out there. And it could be quirky. It could be funny. It could be a reel or something different that's outside of the box. We just did our first reel last session. That was fun.
Yeah, so many positive,
that was so
funny
fun.
comments.
Yeah, but something that basically makes you stand out from the status quo. Something that's entertaining to watch. Now you've got me. There's a hook in there.
Well, it does require a lot of storytelling. So what you're doing is you're triggering emotions that allow humor, compassion, empathy. One example that really stands out to me is an agent in Toronto. He's a content creator and an agent, and Matt Leonetti. Leonetti. Yeah. So he's the host of Over Ask podcast, and he's super quirky, makes fun of himself and other agents as well. But he's got 30,000 followers. There's something there's that hook that he has.
Yeah.
And he's in all honesty, he's pretty good at what he does in adding humor and really telling the truth about the way agents work. So yeah, entertainment is one of them.
Okay, well, let's go to the second one. Emotional.
Okay.
So if you're going to create content that's interesting to watch, what do we mean by emotional? So adding value on a deeper level, not so much surface level. You and I both don't like surface level. We like to dig deep, but something that will compel them to take action and increase connection with you and your brand.
And this is so important because you don't want to, real estate's a relationship business. And so when you're connecting on a deeper level with your clients, not making it seem transactional. In fact, we actually just got a testimonial, the West One team, about Sam and Andrew, who they were saying that they didn't feel like it was a transaction at all. They felt like they gained new friends and new family because they took care of them, and their whole decision-making process through their home purchase, how well they were taken care of.
That's the greatest compliment one could receive.
So emotional and encouraging. And the third one is, third piece that you need to include in your content is education. It's probably the most simple one, actually, because teaching everything you know for free, one post at a time at random order, is probably what's going to keep getting your clients to return back to you for more information.
Yeah, I would say so.
So it does make sense when you're making a sale, you're providing as much information as possible because you want to be able to look like the expert and the number one person that they're going to call for this type of information. So, for example, you do that a lot with real people.
It's probably because it's the easiest one. I'm just kidding.
No, you learn a lot, right?
Okay, good.
You learn a
Good.
lot. And so I don't know, there's one, you were talking about BC assessments the other day. You were talking about staging your home so it sells faster and you can make more money if you stage your home. So those type of tips are really, really useful. And when it comes from an expert like yourself, you're just looking after your clients.
Yeah, it's important to be able to be transparent and share these really important tidbits of information. So we really enjoy it. Um, I really liked that point, actually. So tip number 3,
Yep.
not to be so self-centered and hung up on the number of views and or likes that you get. This is so true. That would be surface level. I mean, put it this way, guys and gals, if you posted something and okay, whatever, maybe you got 100 likes, maybe you got 200 views, but you didn't get conversion from that post. It's great that a lot of people have quote unquote liked it. And at the end of the day, it's not going to bring you more money necessarily or new aligned partnerships.
So what I would have to say to add to that is that even if it's a silly comment, or let's say there's an emoji, it's your entry point to a conversation.
It's 100% true.
Right? So you're missing the point. Even though they are just adding a little emoji, it is your entry point. I'm going to say that entry point to a conversation to DM them. So that's where the sales process starts. When someone is commenting, it means that they like you. It means that they want to give you input. So it's a way to connect. You want to be able to interact with them and be more service oriented by returning that comment because they've taken the time to think of you by commenting.
Yeah,
so
it's a compliment.
In a way, it's kind of like an entry to DMing them and asking them what's creating more content. To help you create more content, you can ask them, what's the one takeaway that you learned from this video? Or ask them what they want to learn more of. Right? So those aren't even asking for the sale. It's just building the relationship.
It is. You're basically building and having meaningful conversations about things of interest.
And they're the ones giving you input. So how valuable is that? That's free information for you to improve your business and improve your content. Our fourth point is following through and fishing for more information about them. And
Do you want to elaborate?
yeah, how do you do that? Because most people don't want to be sold, right? Most people want to they want to talk. They love talking about themselves. So what you want to do is ask them in the DM, oh, what have you been up to lately? I haven't, we haven't chatted for a while. Or you could DM them and say, hey, you know what? I end up having a free time for lunch tomorrow. Do you want to get together and catch up? And it's so easy to be able to dig more information into their previous posts and ask them about questions of what they've done. And what I mean by that is, let's just say they went camping recently, and in the DM, you could ask them, oh, I noticed that you went to Alouette Lake the last week. My family and I were thinking of actually signing up for the campgrounds there. Our kids can enjoy the lake. How did you find it? What did you like about it? So those are really good entry points to be able to start a conversation with them and find some common ground. And automatically the connection with like nature and family time and living the simple life is some sort of value that you've created and rapport with them. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's a great way to leverage as well. Finally, point number 5, a call to action. Of some kind is very important, because it's almost like, especially for those educational posts, for example, okay? If you give really great quality information, and especially a different take on it maybe than the solid cookie cutter, oh, this is dry information, you leave them with nothing. It's, I've got the meaning of what you said, but what happens if I also want help with it, or if I have further questions? Call to action. You can invite them to get in touch with you privately to discuss it further. You could invite them to, I don't know, have a meeting with you to, again, discuss it further, and then build the relationship from there.
And what you can do is test all the different types of messages based on the call to action. So, for example, maybe one post is if you want a free checklist on how to buy a home or what to look for in a home, that's one post. And so you can really gauge if that type of content is really important to people. Maybe another post is call me for a free home evaluation. That could be a different type of audience, and maybe you can gauge what type of people are commenting on that and who take advantage of that. So ensuring that you have a call to action when you are posting, so that there are people that are going to comment, and then you can convert them into a customer. So identify somebody who you're going to be problem solving for them, somebody that you can trust, that they're going to call on you to help them. And so they're going to feel loyal to you.
Yeah.
By offering free information. So yeah, in summary, I would say the 3 E's: entertainment, education, and emotions.
And or encouragement.
or encouragement. And then the final 2, I would just call it maybe the 2 F's: fish and follow through, and a free call to action.
I like those. It's easy to remember,
right?
It's easy to remember.
Yeah, thank you.
And these are all, you're welcome. And these are all tips for converting comments into customers.
Awesome. Well, thanks guys for listening, and be sure to comment on whether or not these tips worked for you. We love that you listen to our information here and tips and strategies, but we also want you to share with your friends who can also take advantage of this free information that we're offering to you. We can be found on YouTube, IGTV,
Apple Podcasts,
Spotify, and Amazon. That's the one I wanted to reference, Amazon. Thanks for listening, guys.
Thank you. Have a great one.